Hi, Leo. This is going to be a full moon reading for you. Full moon in Libra coming up mid-April. And I have channeled some messages and done a little research, a little tarot, some pre-spreads. I'm going to give you some messages and then I'm going to read a little more tarot. Let's see where you're at. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and let's get started. Okay. Well, you have some advice from the universe. Basically, you need to be able to say no without guilt and say yes without hesitation. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. Let that sit with you for a little bit. Let's stop the people pleasing. Put yourself first and your needs first and be unapologetic. You know, you're allowed to want more than you have. That doesn't mean that you don't have gratitude. It just means that you believe that you deserve more. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially for you, Leo. You're not here to blend in, Leo. You're here to inspire. Y'all are pioneers, groundbreakers. Do your job. Show us all what you got. You've had a reckoning with trust and emotional reciprocity recently. There's these hidden motives that I don't think you're looking at. Could they be yours? What does it mean, emotional reciprocity? Have you been giving to people emotionally that haven't really been giving back to you? Have people been giving to you emotionally and have you been resistant? Well, emotional release and transformation, especially letting go of old people, patterns, behaviors, even dreams that don't align with you, is at the forefront of this new moon, this full moon, sorry. Let the light of this full moon shine on all of those things and kind of figure out what you should do about it. You know, a call to slow down and recalibrate and see things from a new angle before acting has been brought up. It's like not a different perspective per se, but a new angle. Take a minute and maybe even write down your thoughts right now and reevaluate if that's what you think tomorrow or next week. Give yourself a minute, you know? You have the power to manifest a new destiny. And by doing that, you have to manifest a new reality. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, I pulled some shadow work cards for you, just in case you're the kind of Leo that is still working on themselves. And one of the messages that I got kind of strongly was to learn the difference between standing your ground and standing in your own way. You know, don't let ego keep you stuck in situations that you've outgrown. Figure out where that resistance is coming from and perhaps put it in check if you have to. Well, that was fun. Let's get started with some tarot. I preset shuffled some cards and I'm going to shuffle them again. Let's see what I've got for you. Oh, Leo, you inspire me. One of my very best friends in the entire world is a Leo, and I knew the minute I met her we'd be friends forever. She has that kind of fire that reminds me who I am. And if I could pick one word to describe her, it would be inspiring. I am going to send her this video first. Okay. Let's see what I've got for you. Adjust this light. Sorry about the glare. I am working on that somehow. All right. I think I'm good to go. Oh, Leo. Okay, Three of Swords crossed with a King of Cups. Page of Swords crowning. Death. Whoa. Boy, honey, you came out hard. Mama's here to help. Okay. What we have here. I swear. I better get it. Okay. At least the outcome turned out fairly decent. You know, I'm going to turn this somehow. There we go. Leo. All right. Well, let's start out with, in your self position. Three of Swords. You're hurting, babe. You are crossed with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is emotional and kind, The Three of Swords is emotional pain. And we talked yesterday in my Twin Flame Collective about alchemizing emotional pain into power, This spread has, Leo, you need alchemy written all over it. It actually sees some pretty transformational stuff. And this whole advice, Leo, emotional release and transformation, letting go, well, that advice was good. So you are crowned by the Page of Swords. Page of Swords can kind of be like a spy. Maybe you like that you have a spy. Maybe you give that spy things to spy on and send that spy back with a little of your own information for the one who's spying on you. You're probably flattered by it. Well, in the past, there you go. The card of transformation. You have to have a death in order to have a rebirth. And, well, exiting is basically this Nine of Wands card, and the meaning of this card is walking away. You're walking away from something. In your near future, I have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is fiery. This could be, a counterpart or an equal. Very creative. The King of Wands is, the spark. He really brings it. Very successful. Very influential in like starting a new business or really nurturing a new idea. Really lean into your creativity. The thing about the Wands suit is that they're like the sprout, like a new, well, not only a new beginning, it's more like a new opportunity to create a new beginning. But that spark has to be nurtured. It doesn't just grow on its own. It needs to be tended to. So get into your garden. Look at perhaps like creative ventures or ideas that you've started in the past that maybe just need a little bit more attention now. You are a creator and a leader, and most likely already own your own business or are beginning to create your own wealth, success. Lions, they're very independent. Well, in your self position, you have the Queen of Coins. Wow, there you are. She is loving and nurturing, abundant. She doesn't really need anyone. She's a mature queen. And her success is because, well, Leo, just like you, she's earned it. You probably touch your community in a very special way. Most of your friends probably consider you family, Leo. You have a certain generosity and warmth that makes everybody want to be near you. The beautiful thing about Lion, Leo, the card is strength, is there's so much strength in vulnerability. You know, every coin has two sides: strength, weakness, fear, courage. You know, being brave is admirable, but admitting when you're scared or admitting when you need help is courage. I see you, Leo, and I got you. In your environment, you have the Hierophant. This is Taurus energy. You know, this came through earlier, and this kind of makes sense. Set your boundaries based on your own beliefs, your own needs, your own life, and stop really paying so much attention to what other people say or their rules or how they think you should be living your life. Leo, this might have been holding you back. Part of the advice from the universe that I gave you earlier: say no without guilt and say yes without hesitation. This is your path and no one else's. Even if you're in partnership with someone, you know, the Hierophant, it can represent marriage, commitment, union. It could represent religious values or your own policies, I guess. It looks like you've really been trying, like you made a commitment to yourself, and it might have ended up being something that you need to renegotiate. You know, don't worry so much about letting other people down. Worry so much about letting yourself down. In the end, your happiness will be your success. And, well, your hopes and fears. Well, ouch. You have the Five of Swords. You have some conflict. Hopes and fears, conflict. It might not sound obvious. Like, why should I hope for conflict? well, fearing conflict and the avoidance of conflict is just too weak for you, Leo. It's not even your style. I'm not saying hope for conflict, but I am saying realize that when you're challenged, especially by other people, you have to take a stand to really know what you stand for. That advice has got Leo written all over it. Are you ready for me to tell you the good part? Well, in the outcome, you have the Three of Cups. This could be a celebration, a collaboration, and it could also be an acceptance. Your first card here, this reading, the Three of Swords. Sometimes this can be a third party. Sometimes this can be a third party. This guy, the King of Cups. Sometimes he really loves a third party. Whatever it is. I'm not saying there was, and I'm not one of those let's just go straight to the third party bullshit, but just for this particular reading, just in case, a third party doesn't have to be a romantic party. It can be a friend or a family member, just any kind of like influence that's outside your relationship. Might be giving your partner advice or attention. Crowning with this Page of Swords. Somehow you found out all about it. You know. This spy told you. Well, you did some walking away. You had a ending. You really wanted a new beginning. I think you looks like King of Wands, Queen of Coins. You started a new beginning. You started a new path, a new beginning. I see that. There's still pain attached to whatever you walked away from in the past. The Hierophant in your environment would tell me that you probably made a commitment to a new beginning. Maybe ended a cycle and began a cycle with the same person. You didn't expect there to be conflict. And when conflict came, you probably avoided it. Or you probably didn't even admit that it was there. You feared it instead of embraced it. And when I say embraced it, I mean, instead of embracing the conflict with the courage to know that you have the tools to get through the conflict and turn it into a lesson, an opportunity. I think it created, maybe it reopened another wound, or it created a resistance. You know, maybe your ego got in your way. Maybe you were standing in your own way instead of standing your ground. Well, you have the power to manifest something new. Sometimes we close a cycle, but we continue our own behaviors or patterns that created the toxic cycle in the first place. And even if you end a relationship or a job or walk away from a friend or family member that hasn't been treating you right, or whatever your circumstances is, if you don't change the part of you that attracted that scenario in the first part, you're going to repeat it all over again. And it's okay. Normalize that. Normalize repeating cycles, you know? Sometimes it takes a few times to really acknowledge that you're creating these cycles. You have the power to change them because you had the power to create them. When you focus on someone else's work that they need to do, you're overlooking the tremendous opportunity that you have to do your own work. And the ego will make you feel like you're being treated unfairly. It's easy to slip into victim mode when you're just stuck in a shadowy reality, feeling defeated. And you've had quite a journey. I can't understand how you could be exhausted at this point, but defeat? No, honey, that's not in the program, especially for Leo. Come on. Get some rest. Slow down. And not only rise to fight again, but rise to shine again. Really attract the ones that inspire your shine. And don't let anybody steal that from you. I know being legendary might seem like, oh, that's a big word. I'm a Leo. I get a bad rap for, being so much, so extra, too much. Forget that, Leo. You're perfect just how you are. Embrace being too much, being a lot, being special and amazing and creative and inspiring, being unique. That's what you want to be, I'd rather be too much than not enough. Trust me. Well, I hope this message really helped you today. And I just want to thank you, Leo, the collective, for helping me with my path, helping me see my own courage, and never running away when I used my big voice to roar. I'm on your team. You got this.